Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to dominate in zero build ranked solos and finally hit Unreal, I've prepared an in-depth guide to help you win more games in solos and zero build ranked. I will dive inside my mind in a zero build ranked game that I was able to win and take you through every crucial decision I made that led to me winning the game. Before we jump straight into the video, I want to thank Micah for leaving a positive comment on the channel. I read every single comment, so if you want to be featured in my next video, comment something down below. And let's see if this video can get 1,000 likes. Let's jump straight into the video. I will cover every fight that I get into, best places to drop, best loadout to have for endgames, and how to properly rotate to maximize chances of winning. Here, as I drop into my POI, I want to mention the importance of landing somewhere that has natural heals, such as barrels or slurp trucks. Here's a picture of the map, and in the white circle I show where I land, and the reason I land here, as you can see, is there's 10 barrels and a slurp truck. And as I land here, I prioritize to be the first one to get to those barrels because that is guaranteed shields, and if I'm the first person to heal up before everybody else, that automatically gives me the upper hand on every off-spawn fight that I'm going to get into. So find a spot that has a lot of natural heals so that way you guarantee having shield, and learn how to be the first person to drop there, and that will make winning off-spawn fights that much easier. So as I land here, I realize there's a couple more people landing here, but I am able to get the barrels to myself, and that is the first thing I do is completely heal up. And now that I know that I'm probably healthier than everybody here, I have no problems getting aggressive. As I'm picking up a few guns, I hear a fight across from me. There's absolutely no reason that I shouldn't third party with the health advantage that I'll have, especially when that fight is done. Shortly as I pull up to this guy, he was popping a med kit, so I was able to just get in his face with my health advantage and have no issues eliminating him there. Now, as I finish up the fight, I know that there is someone else here. I have two priorities. One of them is to heal up, and the other one is to make sure that my shotgun is reloaded, because the drum gun takes about 1,000 light years to reload. I heal up, get my guns reloaded. This guy's pushing me, and I'm ready to take this fight. He's standing on top of the roof, waiting for me to make a mistake. Now, I have clingers in my inventory, which I'm trying to play for here. What I do is break the roof above me and try to bait for him to drop so I could then throw my clingers and deal some damage. It ended up working out. He jumped right on me. I throw some clingers and I was able to take his overshield off. And as I decide to get more aggressive, he throws some clingers at me as well. And at this point, he's dealt way more damage to me than I have. I take a couple shotgun shots, mantle up to get some cover, and then drop down where he broke the floor. And as I'm running away, I'm trying to right peek and take some shots. Unfortunately, at this point, he is winning the fight because he has dealt way more damage than me, and I have no shields in my inventory at the moment. So when you are low on HP, the best thing to do is to create some distance and take a long range fight. And I have a sniper in my inventory, which can be huge for balancing out this fight. I create some distance, get on this roof, and I bait him by shooting my pistol, which ended up working out perfectly. He comes out in the open. I was able to snipe him and take head glitch peeks with my AR and clean up the fight. And just like that, we've dominated the early game. And remember, I still have a slurp truck here that I'm going to rotate to and fully heal up. At this point of the game, I'm not looking to fight until I have my desired loadout. After looting up a little bit more and making sure I got all the health that I need, the only thing I'm missing is a grappler or shockwaves. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with my loadout, especially because I do have a car. And here's how I plan my rotation. Because I have a car, I can practically get anywhere on the map. I look at the map to try to decide where to go, and I see that the Peter Griffin medallion hasn't yet been picked up. My assumption is that there's probably somebody ratting there because people like to play very weird for those medallions. So what I do is I head on over to the closest vending machine and buy 3 medkits, and remember that I leave those fishes there because I'm going to come back for those to pick them up. The reason I do this is obviously because I'm going to storm camp this to make sure I secure this medallion, and as I come back, somebody creeps up on me and he looks very clueless. I take a lot of free shots and I scare him away, and because we're in storm, he just keeps on running. This is when I know I have the medallion to myself. I'm able to grab the medallion. Funny thing, as I'm looting up, I noticed that the guy actually died, which sucks because I don't know where he died and I can't pick up the grappler that he used earlier. But either way, I was able to find some shockwaves. I opened the vault, and the one thing I like to make sure is that my sniper has the 3rd scope option, the drum mag, the first foregrip for faster ADS time, a silencer to make the gun quieter. I don't generally put anything on my shotgun, but if you want to put something on it, I recommend the drum magazine over the fast reload mag, just because in my opinion that shotgun takes so long to reload no matter what, so you might as well make sure you have more shots to take. And for your AR, just make sure you have some sort of scope of your choice, whatever mag you want. Some people prefer to have the fast mag, but I honestly like to have more ammo in my gun, so I go for the drum and attachments to make the recoil a little bit better. After I get situated, I'll go back to the shield fishes and I make sure I pick those up. As I'm rotating into zone, I rotate into another really really good player, there's a lot that you can take away from this fight. This player is pulling up in the car, and that already tells me he's a decent player. He parks a car in a way that is facing me for him to take cover and try to take a shot. 9 times out of 10, players like this have a sniper, so I predict he's going to try and get out the car and pull off a snipe. And it's almost like I'm a prophet. Because I predict he's gonna do that, I'm gonna hard scope and wait for him to peek. He peeks out the window, I take the shot and connect, and immediately strafe my body to the left to try and dodge his bullet, and that is exactly what I do. And then I start spraying his car, aiming at the driver's seat as he's trying to drive away, and just like that, I pick up the elimination. Now I am all set for the end game, and I'm going to do my best to explain how to perfectly execute your end games. At this point of the game, I'm not looking for eliminations, I'm purely playing for the win. Because as the circle gets smaller and smaller, the chances of being third-partied increase every single second. So I will only take shots at an enemy if it's on the dead side of the zone. The dead side of the zone is a part of the zone that has the least amount of players on it. And this season, there are 2 ways to know what dead side is. The first one is if all the medallions are located on one side of zone, it is likely that a lot of fights are going on over there, which would make the opposite side the dead side. So I put myself on the dead side of zone, basically wait for the entire lobby to die out. Now let me show you the second way you can figure out what dead side is. If you take a look at the minimap right now, part of the zone is in the storm, which means there's nobody there. So I'm making my best efforts to rotate to that side of zone as it opens up, and I'm likely to be one of the only people on that side of the zone, which makes that the dead side. Because most people will stay where they already are because they don't see a reason to rotate, but a good player will realize that positioning yourself on the dead side of zone this late in the game gives you the highest chance of survival. I ended up finding a grappler, which ends up being huge for me going into the end game. As you can see, I'm not seeing anyone on this side of zone, so the lobby is dying out before I have to do anything special. Now we have our first moving zone. This is where I kind of put myself in a very sticky situation. My car ended up running out of gas, so I'm on foot. So as I rotate and get into the storm, I'm kind of in the middle of the zone, which means I don't want to make any noise. This car ends up pulling up, so I jump straight into the car in hopes that he would take me to the dead side of zone. But then I realized that the dead side of zone is in the water, and if I have to rotate away from the zone later on, I could be put in a sticky situation with no cover. I decide to get back out of the car and go back to where I was and camp behind these trees and be very cautious of my surroundings. Now the storm is slowly closing in and everybody's rotating into the circle, and I'm sitting on the edge of the circle trying to analyze where I want to be. I notice there is no one behind me, there's a couple people in the water, and there's a guy in front of me that ended up being pushed down, which now gives me the ultimate high ground. Nobody knew where I was because I stayed hidden, so I'm able to sneak up behind this guy, take some shots and scare him away, but I am in the complete open. The guy that just ran away is not expecting me to push him, and he's focused on the guy that is deep out in the water. So that's when I make the unexpected play and hit this headshot snipe on him, and now I'm looking stacked. Now, what I do next is very crucial. Zone is sort of pulling to me, and there's only 3 other players left, so I try to locate every single player. I know there's a player somewhere in the water side of the zone, and there is another player across from me who is shooting at him. So instead of trying to prioritize fighting or getting kills, I want to be the first to get ahead so that everybody else has to rotate into me. In this case, the best position to be is the building that is pulling the zone. So this guy is focused on shooting the player in the water, and I do take a couple shots to see if I can steal this kill, but he ends up getting the kill. And instead of trying to shoot him, I race to make sure that I am ahead of the zone before he is, and he has to rotate into me. And he's shooting at a different player across from him, which now tells me where every single player is. Just like I predicted earlier, this guy has to rotate into me. Doesn't have a choice but to come this way because Storm is pushing him out. I take a free shot, and honestly right here, it looked like I had aimbot. As he's trying to run away, I completely demolish him. Then I wait to see what zone does next. As I see this player in the open, I make sure to be careful because he does have a sniper. And zone ended up pulling right on me, so I know he has to rotate to me. As he shockwaves to me, I hit a crazy shot, crack him. At this point, he's just a free kill, and just like that, we win the game. If you watched all the way till the end and found this video helpful, consider subscribing. Zero build tournaments are coming back, and I'm excited to start posting competitive Fortnite content for you every single week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.